Hello, Renee here for her Baker's Dozen to show you how to make 13 cards. All right, I'm going to bring this down and hopefully you can see everything pretty good. I think so. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit more. That should be perfect. Okay, so we are going to do a Baker's Dozen, and I'm going to go ahead and list the materials that you are going to be using for this Baker's Dozen. The first item that we are going to use is Friends Are Like Seashells. This is from the new mini catalog, and this represents the Sand and Sea Suite. You can see all my little tabs. And this is from the Sand and Sea Suite, and we are going to use just this during the class, where we're going to make 5 of the 13 cards. They will get a sample of the opal rounds. They will get a sample of the seaside seashells. They will not get a sample of the paper because we're going to use different DSP for this. And what's going to happen though is I will show them during the class. So this is for a Zoom class that I would be doing with them, and so I only do Zoom classes right now. This number 2, I will give them a sample of a page of the embossed seashell folder, and I will give them some cutouts from the die cuts, so they will experience pretty much the entire suite during the class. And I do this so that if they want to purchase one of these parts, they can do so after the class. All right, so so they will purchase, as I said, the stamp set, and they will also purchase this this designer series paper, which is in good taste. Where is it? Sorry, that's the wrong one. This is the right one. I thought something was wrong. So they will go ahead and do this designer series paper in good taste. This does cost $21. The seashell set does cost $26. It's a double set. It's an amazing set. So you get double the number of stamps in this set. All right, double the number of stamps. And so it is $21, and then this is $26 because you get 48 sheets of DSP. The folks that I work with really enjoy having a multi-purpose paper, and I found that this is a multi-purpose paper. They previously have bought this paper, which they found they could use through Christmas from this summer, and we use this through the entire season from July through December. So now we're going to work a little bit with this designer series paper. So that's the one I asked them to buy. Since I'm trying to get them to purchase at least $50 for the class, because they get a free bonus in the Celebrations catalog. We have our new Celebrations catalog. What I'm going to ask them also to purchase, which is a very multi-purpose ribbon, which is faux suede trim, and this really works for so many things. Because of the paper that I asked them to get and the faux trim, this is also good for mail cards, and so again, that multi-purpose always in mind. All right, so to make our Baker's Dozen, our 13 cards, what I'm going to be sending them. All right, again, we'll only make 5 of the 13, so I'm going to send 5 cards, actual blank cardstock cards, to make 5 of the cards of the 13, and then we're going to go ahead and I will be sending them parts from the suite to make up the rest. I will also be sending them an ink spot, Flirty Flamingo. I always send ink spots. If they want, I will have more ink spots for them if they want, but each extra one would cost $2, so I'd have Seaside Spray and Rococo Rose. The materials we're going to use then, let's look at that then. We're going to use Whisper White or Very Vanilla, Flirty Flamingo, Seaside Spray, Rococo Rose. I'm going to be sending those cardstock colors to them, or some neutrals if I don't give them Rococo Rose cardstock. That's pretty much what I will be sending, plus those extra items that I mentioned when I showed you the catalog. All right. So let's look at the actual cards that we're going to, how we do this. Let's look at how we do this. All right. So what we're going to be needing is 2 sheets of designer series paper that are 12 by 12. And I'm going to use, to demonstrate this part, I'm going to use some of the free designer series paper. So we're going to take a sheet, 2 sheets of 12 by 12 designer series paper, and we're going to cut it in half so that we have 2 pieces of 6 by 12. All right, actually 4 pieces, but 2 sets of 2, a 6 by 12. Then what we're going to do is one of them we are going to go ahead and cut by, let's see where it is, by 4.5. We're going to cut it at 4.5. Then we're going to cut it at 4. And then we're going to cut it, well, the rest of the piece is a 3.5 piece, as you'll see at the end. So these are the 3 major pieces, okay? So we'll have a 4.5 by 6, a 4 by 6, and a 3.5 by 6. This will be a pre-prep for the class. Everyone would have to cut their DSP to this point. So they would have 3 pieces here, and they would have 3 pieces, 3 cuts, I should say, 3 cuts out of the 1/2. That would be smarter to say. 3 cuts out of the 1/2. And then they would have the 6 by 12. And this 6 by 12, so these will make 11 cards, all right? And these make the other 2 to make the baker's dozen, all right? And so with this, they are going to be cutting then this one, sorry for my reach, they're going to be cutting this DSP by 11 5/8 by 5 1/4, and they're going to score these at 1 3/4, 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. And they will make what I call my DSP cards. And these are the DSP cards right here. Yeah, that's the right way. So these are my DSP cards, sorry. Little Valentines, prepping them for Valentine's, okay? So again, this is for a Zoom class. So prepping them for that. This can be glued if you prefer to have it this way, or you can have it open up all the way, whatever you like. And we will go ahead and make 2 of those. And one I'm going to make presently when I go through and show you the cards and what I've sent them. Okay, so the extras that are left behind is this. This is the DSP that I'm using for the cards for the class, and 2 strips of this. That's all that's left over at the end. That's it. That's the scrap. So that's great. Everything else is used. So let's look at this. The 5 cards that I will be, the 5 card stock. So for example, I will send them a full card that's cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this is Flirty Flamingo, so they'd get a Flirty Flamingo. Here, they would be getting a Rococo Rose. They would be getting some paper that is the Seaside Spray, and I believe another Seaside Spray, or we can do a neutral. It doesn't really matter. So this would be 2, 4. So they would get these different color cardstocks, and then I send them this for the DSP card. So that's what they would get. All right. So next, what would happen is I would send them various other items, and I will show you that as I show you the cards. So when you do the final cuts, which we would do during class, we end up with 4 of these, okay, 4 of these kinds of cards. All right. That's that one. That's a little funky. That one. Then we end up with 4 of these. There's that one. So that makes 8 cards now. Then we make 2 of these. With that DSP, and then we make 1 of these. So with this one, we will make this one for the class. They will stamp and cut out these. I will provide the seashells so they get to see the stickers. They have the trim, and they have the DSP that we cut at the beginning of the class. And I've given them the paper, they have the ink, and they simply go ahead and produce this card. The next card that we would produce is this one. As you see, I have 3 of the pearl rounds, which I would have provided for this card. And they will go ahead and stamp and cut and build this card. Now they have cut all the DSP, so they have the DSP to make this card, but they do not have, they would not have this piece because this would be embossed, and this would be, they would have to buy the embossing folder, etc. But I will show them this card so that they could go ahead and build this card if they, later, because now they have DSP that is already cut and ready to go. The idea is to have them create more at home, and so they'll have this DSP all ready to go, since we're only making 1 of each kind of card. The next card that we are going to make is this one. I will provide this piece. Now this piece, I actually inked the folder to make this in 2 different colors. And so they will get this piece to build this card. They will go ahead and make their own label and everything else, and I provided the paper and everything else they would have. All right, so we make that card. So then I would go ahead and show them the rest of the cards. I will provide them with 1 of the pearlescent cardstock, and I will have embossed it, and then I will simply send that embossed piece, and I will tell them this was die cut and embossed, and they can stamp on it themselves, and they will, and then they have now another item to make another card with, all ready to go. I will show them this card and talk about how I made it. I will show them this card and talk about how I made it using the stamp and stamping over that pearlescent paper, while this piece I colored, all right? And so that's the one I will show them. Then I gave them some Footy Flamingo cardstock, and they will build either this card or this one. They are very much alike. They use just the different seashells, but showing them the different ones. I do not have to give them anything extra for this card in particular. So they will go ahead and build this card, and they can choose this one or a combination of those two, whatever they like. And inside, as you see, very sweet little sentiment. Inside here, as you see, a cute sentiment, color on color here, and so that works out nicely, and that's for that card. Now, that's 2 of those. We make 4 of these. I will show them this card and what they can do with that die cut and embossing folder. Again, I did not color this by hand. I colored the folder. I also am going to show them this trim, this snail mail trim combo pack, and that I used, and that I colored this little trim with a right, and how they can do that. So that gives them more ideas. And then I will show them this crazy little card where you have a combination of Valentines and seashells, and to give them ideas, and to show them also the other pack for Valentines that I am interested in with the punch. It's a bundle. It's called the Heartfelt stamp set, and it has a punch associated with it, and that's what I'm hoping to do for the next class, so that they would go ahead and maybe purchase that after the class, so that we could make the cards. Now, whenever I do have them purchase, I do give them a sample of the cards that we are going to make, so that they do have a chance to maybe order more if they like, or something else, because let's say they have ribbon they feel, and so maybe they want the stickers, or they want the pearl rounds, so they do have choices. And that, I think, is important. I think everybody's individuality is a little important, especially when you do the Zoom classes. So they now, during the class with this, we would have made 4, and they have the cut DSP 411. And then we go ahead and I show them this one. And this is the next card we will make. And they will have cut the pieces, and then we will score them together. And they will have to cut a piece of cardstock here, and everything else will be provided pretty much for the front. So the front of the card, we're going to go ahead and do this. So this is what it looks like. And all I'm going to do is glue this on to the back of that. Actually, I'm going to glue that on. I'm going to do it this way, sorry. I'm just going to glue this on. Get in your window frame. There you go. Did I do that right? I hope so. Yep, I'm just kind of fussing with it. And I'm just going to put that in the center there. Opa, didn't quite get the center. I will get the center. There you go. Get the center there. There it is. There it is. Glue that on. Then what I'm going to do is they will cut this piece of paper as well, which is a 2 3/4 by 5. And so they will glue this in. They will glue this in so it doesn't show. Again, they can use Whisper White or Very Vanilla. They can decide, although with this one, since I pre-cut this in white, yes, this one is in white, they would go ahead and use typically white here. For this, I'm just going to put this in here like that. That should cover it. Yep. So there you go on that one. So that's all done. So that's that card. And so then this will go right here. This is the piece that I provided. I did not provide the rounds for this. They would either use, pretty much everybody has the Wink Stella, and I would tell them to pull out their Wink Stella, but I would also show them during that time how to use the shimmering crystal effects, because this will bubble up a little bit, and I think for this specific embossed piece, that using the crystal effects is a little bit better, because you can go ahead and see those little bubbles like water bubbles. So I thought that was really cute, and of course I'll show them what this looks like with the pearl rounds. So now all I have to do is glue this on, and I'm going to go ahead. What I do when I do this is actually I go ahead and glue the piece like this on here, and then put this on. And center that kind of. That looks pretty good. Probably did a little bit too much glue, but that's okay. I'll just wipe it off. All right, and then I glue that on. Now, what I did this time, as a little surprise for them, is they can use their label. They can make a label for this, and they can cut a piece of the trim and then put this across, and they can put their sentiment on there like that, which is great and beautiful, and there's no problem with this. All right, or they can use what I sent them, which is a Happy Valentine's. And I love die cutting out words, and I decided that on this card I would use the Valentine's, and I'm going to go ahead and hopefully find my hearts here. Yes, I found my hearts. And I'm going to go ahead and put the Happy Valentine's in here and glue that down. And you're going to see how that works. And so I will take that. Sorry that it is upside down. I'm pretty good this way. I don't have much trouble. People do all kinds of different things, but I'm pretty good. I found that I've gotten the control, and I know that I don't have to do every little spot. I do crucial spots. So I'm going to put the Happy here. I think I'll put the Happy right there. And then I'll put the Valentine's in. And so they can choose. They can choose to use the cardstock, or they can choose to use the to make their little. I'm going to just do this pretty linearly. And then I would have cut out from the die cut, I would have cut out some little hearts. And the heart I want to use is this one. And I would have provided them with a heart so that they can have that heart right here. Probably would be good, maybe for the eye, something like that. And then I'm going to glue that down. Right about, it's hard to get it right on there, so I'm going to just go like right up here. there. It's like on the eye. Like there. So this is how this works. So you have the dimensions that I gave you. The cardstock is 11 and 5. The DSP is 11 and 5/8 by 5 1/4. You're going to score this then at the 1 3/4, the 4 3/4, and the 7 3/4, and then you're going to fold like a fan. So up, down, up. The largest piece is going to be glued to that back cardstock, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then this again would be a 5 by about 2 3/4. All right, so there you go, like that. Then you can go ahead and do the inside of that card if you like. You can go ahead and stamp the inside of that card, and they can use the brown or the Flirty Flamingo, and the love you to the beach and back is the sentiment I would use here. These are great sentiments on this, and so since it's Valentine's, going ahead and using that one makes the most sense. So love you to the beach and back makes a great Valentine's card. And again, with these cards that they make, we do the inside because that allows them to use more of the stamp set. And of course, they can choose their sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and do the Flirty Flamingo, I believe. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And I'm going to put that fairly high. There you go. And then what I would go ahead and do is probably put a seashell there, and or starfish. I'm going to this time put a starfish right here, and I will show them probably some more of the, I'll probably put the starfish right there, and I'll probably put it in Flirty Flamingo, just like that. And then there they go. And of course, if they have a heart stamp, they probably won't at this point, but if they get their stamp set, heartfelt stamp set, then they can punch out a heart with their new punch, or they can go ahead and finish up the card and put a little heart on there if they prefer. All right, so these are the cards. This is the last card that they would have made. And again, you know, I think that, for example, this one, and I'm going to show you how that works because I do like the idea, is I would go ahead and glue that down. So I'm going to go ahead and glue like this piece down like that. And so that when you open that, it's going to open this way. It's still free here. All it is glued down to here. So it's glued, that little part is glued down so that it opens like that. And I like, for this one, I like that. All right. So this is, thank you, by the way, the class that taught me this card was from Nina McMillan, and we need to thank Nina McMillan for showing me this card because it made up my baker's dozen. And also Julie Davidson for the format to make the Double Wonder, and of course Shannon West, who did a class in the fall last year to show us how to make the cuts for the Double Wonder, to make those 11 cards. So thank you to all of those people. And I don't get dizzy here. I wish you all a great afternoon, and I'm sorry I couldn't be with you. I unfortunately have a slight emergency that needs to be taken care of, and I hope you had a great day. And thank you to all the people that allow this to happen. And so, thank you very much. Bye bye.